Testing, 1, 2. And we are live. What's going on, guys? Johnny with Learn to Earn. Hope you guys are all having a great day. Today is December 10th, 2025. Markets are already open. And we are sharing our link with the team. And there we go. So let's see which way we end up going today. We're going to be pumping or dumping today. FOMC rate decision today, so it should be a fun one. We have some selling pressure in the pre-market session, pushed all the way down to 620 and pushing up to 623 at the moment. So that's beautiful to see here. All right, and there we go. So it looks like QQQ is pulling back, and now this nice little V-shaped pattern of recovery. Go ahead and take a look over here. And again, same thing, right? Selling pressure all the way down for BTC from highs of 93,000 down to 91,000, finding a little bit of support and pushing up above, which means MSTR had a nice push as well from lows of 179 yesterday. Caught a huge rally up to 198. That was a beautiful move for anyone who went long on Bitcoin. That was $15 per share, or around 8 to 9% profit. Now, we did a great job yesterday because, of course, we were shorting it. We did a great job yesterday by cutting our losses. I saw this little green candle here, and it wasn't worth it. Losing about, it was like 2% on a $1,000 position, so about 20 bucks, nothing too crazy. That's the point, right? Always making sure that we're making more money than we're losing. We're making 6%, 10%, and then we cut our losses at 2%. Well, you just made 16% and you're only losing 2, so you're really still at 14% profit, right? So it did break this pattern. We did a great job by making sure we didn't get stuck holding the bag. That was an 18% sell-off. Now, I would have loved buying the dip at 1039, and that's something I could do better next time by buying that overbought, right? Bitcoin was overbought. Buying that overbought reversal back down. So now Bitcoin is pumping again back to that moving average. Looks like it is getting rejected again off of that moving average. So I would love to see, you know, does this rally and push up higher, or does this begin to sell off and we could actually take another position in MSTZ? Now, we won't know until probably after the FOMC rate decision today. That is today at, I believe, is it 2 o'clock today? Let me take a look here. Looks like it's going to be Wednesday. At 2 p.m. Eastern time. At 2:30 Eastern time. FOMC rate decision at 2 o'clock today. So we'll see. They're thinking about giving us a quarter point rate cut. So from 4% to 3.75. That could definitely influence the market. MSTR selling off slightly with Bitcoin. Last thing I want is get caught in another big pump, but looks like it already pumped today, right? As you can see here, that was yesterday's rally from 90,000 to 94,600, and basically pretty much giving it all back. So love to try buying a little bit here. That's what we're going to do here. We're just going to get in light. Get in very light with MSTZ. Now remember, this is shorting Bitcoin. I do believe Bitcoin can go even lower. And the best thing we can do here is just take a light position. Nothing too crazy. You can add more as this decides to sell off. Got my coffee today. Looks like it says Joy Christmas, Xmas. So getting in that holiday spirit for Christmas. Let's go ahead and take a look at QQQ. Bitcoin trying to pump. QQQ also trying to pump. Nice little sell off from 626 to 620. Do have my alerts set here for that break of patterns at 625 and 621. Bitcoin pushing. Closed by a little bit more on that bounce. Now, Michael Saylor believed this was going to be at $1 million by the end of the year, and it's having trouble staying above 100,000. Nobody really truly knows the direction of the market, and you can't predict the market. The only thing you can do is work with the levels you have, making sure that you are doing your part by locking in profits and making sure that you cut your losses with a good risk management strategy, and with making sure we use stop losses, etc. See what happens here. Love to see a dip, either a dip or a push. Looks like it is going to be coming down a little bit. We're going to buy 10 more here at 1188. And we're actually going to take this off so it's not all cluttered. There we go. Again, a light position. We're going to go a little lighter today than we did yesterday. Instead of maybe $1,000 position, we'll slowly build up to that, right? Yesterday I was making, I think I did 40 or 50 shares right away. And then I added 20 and then added 20 to get to 1,000 very quickly. Today we're going to ease into it. We're going to try to buy the lows and potentially sell the highs, or just hold for that bounce as Bitcoin either sells off or begins to push up. So we're doing our part by buying these lows. Okay, what's it doing? It's going to do one or the other. It's either going to pump or go down. I do have the red in the background because, of course, markets were selling off this morning. Still in the red slightly here. We'll see if this doesn't get rejected again off of this green moving average, or are we going to see this begin to push up even higher? And there we go. Oh, for some reason my alert didn't even go off. Must have just bounced right above it. We're going to do this here. There we go. So see what happens. Looks like we're going to get some more upward momentum on Bitcoin. But again, look what happened yesterday. It pumped up, it showcased that it was bullish to everyone, and then immediately dropped below. That was a nice, we call that a bull trap, right? That was a bull trap. It pushed up, everyone's buying, thinking it's going to go much higher, and then it just flushes and sells off. So are we going to see another bull trap today? Another quick flush. Looks like MSTR isn't falling for it today. So we'll see what happens here. There we go. Slowly pushing up from yesterday's levels, 92.5. So we'll see if it bounces off of that 92.5 today. You see all that consolidation here? A lot of consolidation yesterday. Had a nice rip up, and then it sold off below where that consolidation was. So let's see if we're going to make lower lows. As you can see here, it's creating a trend line. Basically a descending trend line here. You guys see that? So let's see if this continues, right? Let's see if this trend continues. Also almost like a bull flag here. Yesterday, that's what everyone was really excited about, was this bull flag pattern. Basically those yellow lines, seeing, you know, it consolidate and then it pushed up, but it couldn't get out of that level. Could not get out of that level. And here we are back again, same level. We're going to see if we get a squeeze. I'm going to delete that one. I do believe this can sell off more, but we'll see. We'll see, right? It doesn't matter what I think or what I want. All that matters is we are mindful of our position size. And if you notice, this is pushing up, but MSTZ is not. It's not pushing up actually at all. MSTR is actually still falling, even though Bitcoin recovered very nicely this morning. It's not really moving it all that much. So here we go. Looks like it is going to push it back. We get 20 more. Nice fall here. Give it just a little bit more time to play out. We get a nice pull back down. We can see a nice movement, 1.5%, 2%, 3%. We get 2 or 3% sell off on MSTR, and we can see a 2 or a 6 to 9% push on MSTZ. MSTR selling off. Let's see what happens. Do we get another green candle up, or do we get more selling pressure? And again, this looks a little bit cleaner than yesterday, right? Yesterday it was a little choppy, and then once it validated support on MSTR from yesterday, it just pumped all the way up, and that's exactly what we want to see today with MSTZ, right? We want to see the opposite of what happened yesterday. We want to see it holding that average here, and we want to see it push up. There we go. Nice sell-off here from Bitcoin, up 1%. So on $1,000, that would already be about 10 bucks. But again, we have a very light position, trying to buy those lows and sell the highs. This could push all the way back up, and we can get a better share price, so we'll see what happens. I love trading these inverses. If you look here on the grid, MSTR and MSTZ, you can see they're very inverse with each other, right? When one sells off, the other pushes up, validates this as a resistance, validates this as a support. When this sells off more, MSTZ pushes up more. Very simple. Bitcoin selling off. Nice little red candle here. I want to buy more, but at the same time, I don't want to buy at the high. I should have bought down here at 1183. So it looks like this might come right back up, and if it does, that's okay. But look, you see how it got rejected right at that moving average, or right at this descending pattern here. Could see a significant leg down. To try to bounce off of this level, it doesn't have to. We're going to wait and see. We got all day to play with the levels, buying at the low, selling at the high. go. We're going to get a bounce. We're going to get more selling pressure here. See, we did a really good job yesterday by managing our risk, though. I really do believe we did a great job managing our risk because we had a 1269 position and we sold at, I believe, 1190. No, 1219. We sold at 1219. So from 1269 to 1219, I was up here. We did a good job by only losing around 3.5% of 48 cents per share. Again, it wasn't very much at all. It's all about managing your risk, knowing when to cut your losses. Same thing today. We did a good job by buying this little dip here, 1183, 1187, right? And now it's pushing up as Bitcoin is selling off. Now if this comes back up, then we can buy a little bit more. But if it sells off, then we could actually be looking at taking some profits. And again, it's a very small trade, nothing too crazy. Again, would have loved to add a little bit more right here at this level, even this morning here at 1160, 1170. But there's nothing wrong with that. All right, here we go. Alert just hit. So we're going to bring this alert back down a little bit more. I'm going to put it right here to see if we get some sort of a bounce. But I believe this can sell off even more because why? It hit this area here, it hit this level. And when it hit this level yesterday, it actually sold off 1%. So could we see that happen again today? Selling off 1% back to 91,000? Yes, we could. Yeah, we very easily could. If that sells off 1%, then we can see this sell off. Let's see. Is that 6%? 7%, which means MSTZ can push up 14%. 14 to 17%. That would be, you know, up here in the 13s, which wouldn't be bad. It's gotten up to $17 before, and it's gotten to 13 pretty previously. We traded it one day, traded it another day. And remember, it's all about managing your risk, right? It's where you have to decide what makes most sense to you, right? It's all about knowing when to buy, when to sell, what you're comfortable with. If this begins to push up, then we would want to buy some more, potentially lock in profits here, right? Which profits aren't that much. So we'll see. Does it bounce off of here and get a retest, or is this a little fake out, right? I believe it could be a fake out. I believe we can have another leg down, which would give us an opportunity to buy some more. Giving us an opportunity to load and buy a little bit more at those levels. Here we go, pushing. We're going to get another retest. Look at this. It's very possible. Very possible. Remember, it's all about managing your risk, making sure you have capital to buy the dips. Here we go. We're going to get another leg down. Potentially pushing back up. And this is what's so great about not going all in full force, right? Got 20 shares. Okay, I could buy 100 shares. I could buy more than that, but usually my position sizes are around 100. By buying the lows, waiting for that to pull back. If this were to pull back all the way down to say 1153, well, we wouldn't be losing a lot, right? We'd be losing, if I held, about 30 cents per share. So what is that, like $6? Compared to having 100 shares, right? You might lose $30. So by keeping a light position while waiting for this to confirm an uptrend, and then buying more as that uptrend begins to perform to where you want, then you can add more to your winning position. Now also, say we got a huge dip and I was confident of the bounce, I could buy still 80 shares down here at the lowest price of the day. If I bought 100 shares up here, it'd be a lot harder to average down because I already have 100 shares. I'd have to buy 2, 3, 4 more 100 shares down here. But by having 20, 30 shares, if it does go against me, I could do a couple things. I could either cut my losses for a small loss, or I could buy more shares, bringing my average from 1140 down to 1160, down to 1150, and be able to ride the wave back up. So if my average share price is moving down from 1184, I bought the dip, so now it's down here, say 1160. Now, instead of waiting to break even on 20 shares, I'm actually riding the train back up to where when I get to what was my initial entry price, I would have an additional 80 shares and I'd already be up $25. And then if it pushes up higher, now we're up $50. We're up $60, $70. Okay, instead of just breaking even. If I bought 100 shares at 1184, say about 100 shares, it came all the way down. Now I'm down $30 and I'm wondering, okay, do I cut my losses? I don't really want to add more to this. I already have 100 shares. So then when it does begin to come back up, I'm literally break even, right? So I waited all that time for it to come right back to break even. And a lot of times traders would then get out of the position. This would push up even higher. You would have waited to break even and then missed out on, another 40, 50 cents per share. It's all about being patient. And here we go. It looks like we're going to get another leg down. So on this next little push up, we're going to buy a few shares and add to this position, as it is showcasing signs of weakness for Bitcoin. Now, of course, Bitcoin can definitely rally. It can go up higher. It doesn't necessarily have to just do what I think it's going to do. But if this begins to sell off more, we can do our part by buying more MSTZ. And by having a solid trade plan, I could even have a stop loss set, right? We can create a stop loss. We had chart settings, open orders, and say I wanted my stop loss to be at 1%. Oh, sell, stop at 1%. It'd be pretty much right where my break-even point is, right? Say I want to do 2%. That'd be 1% from where I bought at, right? About 10 cents. So I'm in at 1184. If it drops below this moving average, I have enough cushion to where, okay, it's not right at the moving average to where, okay, it touched this moving average, it goes 2 or 3 cents lower, and then it skyrockets, right? You want to give yourself a little cushion. So even like something like this, right? 4 to 5 cents below, because that's exactly what it did here, right? It dropped below that moving average just a few cents and then corrected itself back up. Now, as the company begins to rise, you can raise your stop loss, raise it a few cents. And now it's up here. Maybe I'd have my stop loss above my entry price to where, okay, now I'm at take profit. I'll make 1%. If this goes against me, I'll still be able to lock in some kind of profit. And as it pushes higher, we can raise our stop higher and higher and higher. This gets up to 1220s for an example. Let's take an example here. As it pushes higher, then we can raise our stop again, raise our stop again, again, until, okay, now our stop's way up here at 1210. We bought down here at 1183, and we're locking in, 30 cents a share. And then when it does curl over, we're not riding that train or that wave all the way back down to where our moving average is. So there's a lot of great ways that you can make money. A lot of great ways you can manage your risk, manage your stop losses, manage your take profits. A lot of consolidation here at this level. Let's go ahead and take a look at QQQ. QQQ is curling over. So I would love to see this. See how it's getting rejected off of that resistance level? Now this resistance level has been drawn for a while. There's a lot of resistance at 624. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna buy more MSTZ here. I'm gonna buy 20 shares more. Okay, so now we're in 40 shares. So still not even quite half of my full position size. So if it does turn against me, I still have 60 more shares I could buy down here if I wanted to. Or just know that, hey, those 40 shares, down here is break even. So if I'm break even, it'd have to go all the way down and some to lose, say 30 cents a share on 40 bucks, 40 shares. That's nothing, right? Do some quick math. 40 shares times 0.03. Oops, that's not right. 40 shares times 0.3. It's about $12. So a $10 to $12 loss, which is nothing, right? We're not losing $100 on a swing in the wrong direction. Okay, QQQ. Wanting to curl back over. We'll see what happens here if it does, or if it gets rejected again. I believe it is going to get rejected, which means Bitcoin should also potentially sell off a little as well. Now our average share price is $11.93. Okay, so our average share price did go up a little bit. It was $11.83. Now it's $11.93. So our average is a little higher. That's why I don't really like to buy the highs. I'd rather buy the lows. But you have to be careful too. When you buy the lows, it can get lower, right? We want to always make sure that direction is in our favor. And even at 11.93, just to that previous high, that's 28 cents per share. I'd love to see higher, maybe back to 12.85. Because 11.93 to 12.85, that's almost a full dollar per share. Now we're risking $10 or $12 to make $40, right? So that's a risk to reward of 1 to 4. I'm risking 1 to make 4. I'm risking $10 to make $40. And that's when you can have a great risk to reward as well. So we'll see, it looks like Bitcoin is going to push down slightly. Now, again, I'm not going to be holding this position long term. This is a day trade. I'm not going to be even holding it, over the next maybe few hours, maybe, but definitely won't be holding it when the FOMC meeting comes out at 2 o'clock. That's right when the market closes. 1, there's not as much liquidity after the close, and 2, the markets could skyrocket, sending Bitcoin even higher, and my MSTZ position even lower, okay? So Bitcoin's going to need to fall a little bit more. We want to see Bitcoin fall even below, 92 would be nice. And just like that, we're at 30 minutes, guys. 30 minutes on the live stream. MSTR dropping, another leg down. I'm gonna grab some coffee, a little bit more coffee, and we'll watch this react. Yep. Oh, we switched cups. I almost took a drink. I was like, what cup was it? That's funny. I was like, these cups are red. Funny though, they're both Christmas cups. That is funny though, because they're both Christmas cups. Was a red light, green light? That doesn't make sense. All right, MSTR, not really doing much. Again, a lot of consolidation. So of course MSTR is a little laggy, and then also being cautious because this did bull trap a lot of people yesterday. Look at that huge pump and then an immediate sell-off below those areas. That's what we want to see today. Now, let's be careful today with the FOMC meeting at 2 o'clock. Technicals matter, but not when fundamentals are in play. So if there's a catalyst-based event, like today with the FOMC meeting, factors will get put into play, and I myself don't like to carry a position into a major economic event because you don't know what's going to happen. The markets can react in a positive way, they can react in a negative way. And with that said, maybe you want to be more cash, and if you do want to take the risk, then make sure that you manage your risk. And with that said, looks like we are just waiting here to see another leg below, or this is just going to continue to chop between 92.3 and 92.5, 92.4. Now NASDAQ is still consolidating. It is pushing up on the 1 minute above this moving average, but still having trouble getting above 624. We'll see what happens. You know, if the markets continue to consolidate the way it is, then of course Bitcoin is going to continue to consolidate. Now, I'd love to see Bitcoin sell off a little more. That way we can make some money on our MSTZ. But right now, you know, it's above our moving average. We can always create our stop here, so that way we're not losing a ton of money here, right? That's exactly what we want to do. 1% be 11.90. We lose 3 cents out of 40 shares. Maybe like $1.20. Really, I'm risking like $1.20 right now on this trade, which is nothing. We could add more to it, but I'd love to see this sell off just a little bit more before we end the live stream. And if you have any questions, you can ask in the Discord. But before you do, let's make sure that you are completing our Learn to Earn lesson library, where a lot of questions will be answered. My trading style, certain indicators, and technical factors can be answered there. And yeah, I want you guys to do your part by watching those lessons, watching that library, so that you could better understand, again, not just my trading style, but understanding how to trade in general to become a better, more profitable trader for yourself. All of that content, all of those training videos are for you. So I want you to be aware of that. Okay, Bitcoin is now finding a leg down, which means MSTR should follow slightly. And we can see a little bit more profits. Now, I would have wanted to add a little bit, but again, I don't really want to buy at the highs. I would have much rather buy at the lows. Because you saw what happened when I bought at that high. Go to chart settings, go to show trades. I bought at the complete low, right? 1183 and 1187 right down here. And then I bought at 1202 and it brought my average up from 1180 from what, like 1185, 1186. It pushed it up 5 points by simply buying the high. When if I would have bought at 1195 or 1197, you know, I could still be down at, like, let's say 1190-ish. So that is okay. It looks like it is pumping. Bitcoin, a nice little leg down. MSTR also was pushing down. And we're at 1% or $5. So even 1% on 1,000 would only be $10. So we have a long way to go. If Bitcoin is going to sell off a little bit more, I'd love to see that happen. We are in that area of basically a squeeze, right? It can't get above this level, but it's having trouble getting below the 45 EMA. If it does get below that 45 EMA, we could see a nice little leg down. Same for MSTR, right? Struggling to hold any of this. So I'm hoping for another leg down to make a little bit more profits. And with that said, that's where we're going to end the live stream. I got a lot of work to do today. We got some errands to run, some chores to do, some more shopping for Christmas, etc. I got a Christmas gift early. If you guys can see. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. Got a Christmas gift early. Got me a rope chain. It's very nice. And of course, this was my gift from previous years. So we're going to get that on back where it needs to go. Get ready for the day. Also, going to be doing some more recordings. Got the GoPro. So, you know, it's the, what is it, the black GoPro Hero 7. So that's what we filmed our trip with when we went to Phoenix, Arizona. Took the kids to Castles and Coasters. So that is what we're going to be doing. I'll be putting that trip up. I finally got everything exported and everything onto the computer and edited, so you'll be able to see that that trip in our YouTube. Excited to share it with you. So appreciate you guys' time. Like always, remember, let's end the year on a green note, and we'll see you all in the next live stream.